Hello, children. Children, you must have often eaten khichdi. And children, have you ever seen your mother cooking khichdi? In a pot, or a pressure cooker, or in a microwave? Next time when your mother cooks khichdi, do observe it. And today, I, Kahaniwali Nani, am going to tell you a funny story of how Birbal cooks khichdi. And the story is Birbal's khichdi. Listen, children. It was winter time and very cold. Emperor Akbar was taking a walk in his garden along with his courtiers. Suddenly, Akbar felt some dust on his finger and he went to near the pond to clean it. In a flash of a second, he removed his hand and shouted, "Oh, the water is so cold! It's freezing!" In a fraction of a second, my finger feels frozen. He turned towards the courtiers and said, "I think if anyone stands in this water, even for a night, he will certainly get freeze to death. And surely no one will dare to do this. And I think you all agree with me." All the courtiers agreed except one, who was he? Birbal. Birbal said, "Excuse me, your majesty, I do not agree with you. I feel there are needy people in this world who will be ready to stand in this cold water the entire night if offered money as a reward." Hearing this, Akbar was a bit annoyed. He said, "Birbal, I think you have the habit of disagreeing with me every time. Many a times you have been right, but certainly not this time. And if you feel you are right, then prove it." Birbal thought for a moment and said, "Okay, your majesty, as you wish." Now Akbar called one of his guards and said, "Go and make an announcement in the kingdom that Emperor Akbar will reward anyone with 100 gold coins if he will stand for the entire night in the pond in the royal garden." The guard made the announcement, but hearing the announcement, no one dared to come forward to accept the challenge. Just as the guards were about to leave, a poor woodcutter, Phula, came. He had heard all this and thought, "I need money badly." He said to the guards, "I am ready to do so. Take me to the emperor." And when Phula met the emperor, he bowed down and said, "Your majesty, I am ready to stand in the pond whole night." Akbar said, "Bola, think twice before you stand in the pond. It's very, very cold and you might be freeze to death. See, if anything happens to you, I am not responsible for it." But Bola said, "Your majesty, I am ready." Now Akbar asked two of his guards to keep watch on Bhola the whole night. And Bhola, he went and stood in the pond. The water was very cold. Bhola started shivering. For once he thought of coming out. But the next moment he thought, "No, no, the reward is enough to solve my problem. I have to bear this cold." And he did not come out of the water. Next morning, Akbar remembered Bhola and came to his garden. Bhola had just come out of the pond and changed his clothes. He was still shivering. He said, "Good morning, your majesty. I have stood the whole night in the water. Now please give me my reward." Akbar was surprised. He asked, "What? You stood the whole night in this cold water? It's unbelievable." "Okay, tell me, how did you manage to do so? I was unable to keep my finger even for a fraction of a second, and you stood the whole night." Bola said, "You are right, your majesty. It was very, very cold. I am still shivering. I saw a lamp on a window far away. I imagined the heat and the warmth of the lamp. And imagining this, I spent the whole night. Actually, Akbar wanted to prove whom? Birbal. He wanted to prove him wrong. So he said, so you spent the whole night with the help of the warmth of the lamp. Then you are not eligible for the reward. You have cheated. I will not punish you for it, but also will not give you any reward. Bhola was stunned. He said, but your majesty, that's all. Enough. No more arguments. Akbar shouted. Bhola became sad and quietly went away. On the way, whom did he meet? He met Birbal. Birbal asked, Bhola, why are you looking so sad? Did you not get your reward? Were you there in the pond whole night? Bhola narrated everything to Birbal and said, I stood the whole night in the cold water and yet I did not get the reward of 100 gold coins from the emperor. Oh, this is injustice done to you. Never mind, Bhola, don't worry. I will do something about this. Now go home. And Birbal, what did he do? He did not go to the court. Instead, he returned home. The court was in session. Akbar looked around and asked, where's Birbal? Has he not come today? And he waited for some time. When Birbal did not turn up, he called up one of his guards and said, go and tell Birbal that I have summoned him to the court. When the guard conveyed the message to Birbal, Birbal said, please go and tell His Majesty, I am cooking khichdi for lunch today. Once it is cooked and I finish my lunch, I'll be in the court. The guard came and said to Akbar, Your Majesty, Birbal will come soon after having his lunch. After his khichdi will be cooked. Now, 2 hours passed, yet Birbal did not come to the court. Now, Akbar sent his guard again to Birbal's house. Go and this time bring him along with you, he said. After some time, the guard came back. He came back alone and he gave the same reply that the khichdi is not yet cooked and Birbal will come only after it is ready. Hearing this, what Birbal said, Akbar got annoyed. He got restless. He said, what? The khichdi is not yet cooked? Such a long time it is taking to get cooked? Now I'll myself go and find out what sort of a khichdi is Birbal cooking today. Akbar went to Birbal's house. He said, Birbal, what is this? What sort of a khichdi are you cooking today? And where is your khichdi being cooked? Birbal pointed out to a pot and said, here, in this pot. Akbar looked. In this pot? You know what did he see? He saw the pot was hanging up with the help of 2 rods very close to the ceiling. And fire was burning on the ground. Yes, your majesty, in this pot. Akbar began laughing. Birbal, I thought you were quite intelligent. Even a fool will know that this way the khichdi will never get cooked. Don't you understand? How will the heat reach the pot? Birbal replied, Your Majesty, the same way as the warmth from the small lamp from a distance reached Bhola. I am sure the heat will reach the pot and my khichdi will get cooked. Hearing this, Akbar understood what Birbal was trying to say to him. He realized his mistake, that he had done injustice to Bhola and said, Great, Birbal, great. How cleverly you have made me realize my mistake. And said to the guards, go and bring Bhola along with you. I will reward him. And when Bhola came, Akbar apologized to him and said he was sorry for the injustice done to him. Akbar handed a bag of 100 gold coins, saying, here's your reward, you deserve it, Bhola. And then he handed another bag of coins to whom? To Birbal, saying, this is your reward for getting justice done to Bhola. So, children, how intelligently Birbal made Akbar realize his mistake without embarrassing him. And this was Birbal's Khichdi. And children, you don't cook Khichdi like Birbal. Okay? So, children, how did you like this funny story, Birbal's Khichdi? And children, you can hear more such interesting stories on my YouTube channel. Subscribe and press the bell icon so that you never miss a new story from me. Press the like button if you like the story and send your comments too. You can share the story with your friends by clicking on the share icon. And we'll meet you again next week with a new story. Till then, goodbye. Take care.